Hey, guys. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Landmarks Commission. It's March 24th, and it's 7:02. Could I have roll call, please?
Roll call, Roger White,
Here.
Whit Wardell,
Here.
Patrick Lynch,
Here.
Linda Henry,
Yes.
Rich Dobda here, David Kirkcraft,
Here.
Pete Lynch. I'd like to make a motion that we excuse Pete Lynch.
I'll second.
Roll call, David Kirkcraft.
Yes.
Rich Dobda, yes. Linda Henry,
Yes.
Patrick Lynch.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White.
Yes.
Could we get a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 24th?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes February 24th.
I'll second.
Roll call, Roger White,
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Patrick Lynch,
Yes.
Linda Henry,
Yes.
Rich Dobda abstain, David Kirkcraft.
Yes.
All right, applications.
Okay, Andrew, could we have our first application, please?
The first application on tonight's agenda is CA 25005. Address is 17 North Trine Street. The request this evening is to install new natural gas porch lanterns on the subject property. Up on the screen is a photograph of the subject property. This home was historically a duplex that has been turned into a single-family dwelling. On either side of the front entry doors is an existing electric style porch light. The applicant is looking to replace them with two matching natural gas lights. Both are proposed to be matte black, to be similar to what's existing, just with natural gas for the source of illumination instead of electricity.
Is the applicant here? Could you step up to the podium, please, and just sign your name?
Yes. Your pen's not working well.
I mean, I'm okay with the design of the new lights. You know, it looks like the picture is like a bronze or a dark bronze, and they're going to be black, right?
Right.
Okay.
And are relatively the same size as the ones that are there right now?
They are.
Is there natural gas already to that spot?
There's natural gas to the room on the other side.
Behind it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I just kind of wanted approval. We're going to see what's in that wall when we open it.
I think flickering gas lights will look great.
I do too.
Yeah, that'll be
Yes,
awesome.
very
Yeah.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have no problem with it. The matte black looks fine. The shape of the lantern is very period-like.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So with that said, would someone like to make a motion to approve this
I
application?
make a motion to approve CA 25-005.
I'll second.
Roll call, David Kirkcraft,
Yes.
Rich Dobda, yes. Linda Henry,
Yes.
Patrick Lynch.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good to go?
Good.
The next application for tonight's agenda is CA 25006. The address of the subject property is 44 West Mound Street. The request is to construct a new 1,140 square foot addition on the east side of the home. This residential home, built in 1873, is in the historic district of Canal, Winchester. In April of 2023, the Landmarks approved the construction of a new 1,050 square foot addition on the east side of the home. That addition was never constructed. The applicant has since made some revisions, made it a little larger, and is back before the Landmarks Commission this evening for approval. Up on the screen is a very, very approximate kind of view of what that addition would look like, just showing the empty lot, the double lot they have to the east would have the main component of that addition on it. When looking at the section of the home that will be modified to accommodate the addition, you can see here there is a entry door and some stoop and an overhang that will be removed. some existing windows that will be affected by the change, and then just taking a look at the connection with this roof line. Some of these windows and roofing will be modified as well. Taking a look at the site plan provided by the applicant, again, you can see here the addition is on the east side of the home, filling up the east side of the lot. The existing residence is shown here. The applicant is connecting a new front porch to the existing porch. I'm looking at those details in this top right image. You can see here the applicant is moving the main entry door from the original portion of the house to the center of the addition. The porches will interconnect, while the historic porch will have a new full railing spanned across it to focus the new main entryway. Looking at the materials on the front elevation here, the applicant is looking to keep the horizontal siding. The existing home will feature new hardy lap siding that will match the addition. Components of the addition will have a board and batten siding treatment. So the right-hand side of this addition will have a board and batten, while the bump out at the far east will be a lap siding. And then looking at the rear of the project as well, all of it will have a horizontal siding. Some kind of zoomed in views looking at each component here. Again, the front doors will be centered within the new framework of the project. The applicant has added some features like a dormer to the addition, again, as well as creating some contrast with roof lines within the bump outs. The entire house will have a standing seam metal roof. The entire house will have fiber cement siding. Taking a look at the side elevation here, again, you can see some of the manipulation where one of the windows is being modified on the existing part of the house. One of them is being removed. And then looking here at some of the window placements on the addition. And then the back of the building here, again, you can see kind of the orientation of the addition with the remainder of the home. The applicant has provided some examples for siding material. They would like their new lap siding to be a 6-inch exposure. The board and batten section here, they note that each panel for the boards would be a 48 by 96 panel. There wasn't any information provided on the batten spacing. Excuse me, but when looking at the siding color, the applicant has picked out the Sherwin-Williams 6073 color for the entire of the home. Noted that the trim for the house will be in white, and that the gutters, the new gutters for the home will be a K-style, continuous aluminum and white. For the roof, the applicant provided this profile for the true standing seam, a 1.5-inch standing seam metal roof in a bronze color. And then for the doors throughout the home, the applicant is requesting for a gel-blend fiberglass door that will have a 3/4 glass simulated divided light in the color mocha. So this color scheme here is slightly more gray than the mocha color panel here. And then the final detail the applicant has provided is on the porch railing. I just know that it'll be a very simple profile with either an AZIC or PVC material. And again, this porch railing detail is across the entire front of the original portion of the home. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to help answer. The applicant is here to answer any questions you guys have.
I have a question. On the diagram, it shows that the original house siding is running in a horizontal manner, and on the new section, at least in the front, it's running in a vertical pattern. Was there a reason for that?
The board and batten portion on the addition you're talking
Well,
about?
in the illustration, it's showing it.
It was just an accent feature just on that one portion of the addition, not the entire addition would be horizontal. Just that,
The entry.
yeah, that right side
that
there.
bump out.
Yeah, that bump out. And then it turns back into horizontal, just to break it up.
I think the idea here is with this addition, it's set back from the original house, showing that it is a period of house that is being added at a later time. Also, doing the siding in a different direction like that in the board and batten is, pretty typical of additions over periods of time. And I think the fact that it shows, this is the original house and this is the addition. They're offset, there's different siding, but they still blend together. I think that's what they're accomplishing here.
I wonder if they're going for an aesthetic kind of thing to break it out the side.
Andrew, do
It's
you have
both.
Yeah.
the old approval from April 23? I can't remember what we approved back then.
I do not have that here this evening.
It was almost identical. We had, I think, like a cedar split shake on the front gable. We got rid of that. It felt too busy. It's kind of an ugly house, I'll admit, just the way they've done it. Sorry if any of your family was responsible for that.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so Dave was tasked with trying to make it look pretty. But the way it's blown out like that, it looks like a saloon to me. So I just didn't want to draw any attention to that, the original, I don't know, front elevate. Yeah, it's not that pretty of a house. So keeping that horizontal, not accenting what they decided to do. We enjoy the additional space upstairs, but it's not pretty by any means.
I have a question. On the one picture that you have here, Andrew, the foundation or the, below the front porch, it shows some brick detail there along with the molded concrete. Now, on the new addition, are you going to have the molded concrete?
What's under
That
the
split face block looking,
On the existing foundation.
It's going to look like the existing foundation?
No, I'm just saying, we're referring to the existing foundation, is that,
you're talking about that top course that's that split
Yes.
face. In my research, well, first of all, I don't know where the grade will end up, because as you see, it kind of like disappears, like I don't get to see that pretty brick for too far back on the property. The addition basically is where you see that window, that's where I wish I had a laser pointer, just beyond that bush, right there. So that's where it starts. Of what is exposed, it's supposed to be poured walls, and I think the molds are like a brick mold. I'd like to make it, if I can find a brick facade I've heard bad things about thin brick, but I want it to look the same. I don't know about the split face block. I haven't found like thin facades that look like that. I have found brick, that I could try to match the best I could, but that I don't know if that's even the term. But that top course, I haven't found veneers or fake things that would replicate that. And I don't think there's any molds that the concrete or foundation company has that would match that. It just looks like brick, the poured walls. It's like a brick pattern.
Okay, thank you.
So are you, so what's underneath the original porch, that's going to extend underneath the new porch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. I understand why the house was set back off the original. Is there a reason why the porch is actually set back? Would it be more functional and less posts if the
All the way
front
across.
was the same plane all the way across?
other than, of course, it's all gonna get new siding. You mean bring that part that he's got his pointer on out to the face of the...
Where the double doors are, yeah, just bring it.
Yeah, where the double doors are,
Yeah.
it's set back, the porch is set back. Does it make sense to bring that out and make it
But see, you know
level?
what, I think at one time, this was maybe 3 years ago, I thought we were gonna keep the existing siding on. And I didn't wanna have to try to match something new to old being in the same plane. So I think that's why originally I bumped it back.
I'm talking about the floor itself, not the building. I know the building's set back, and I understand why that
Oh,
was
I see
done.
what you.
Oh, just the
on
very
post.
front, oh, by the stairs.
I'm talking about that
No, we
right
can-
there.
Yeah, I can go straight,
Yeah, we can bring it out.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there a reason, Andrew, why that would have been done that way, or?
No.
And then if you brought that out, you could probably take whatever skirting and continue it. I don't know if you just reface the whole underside of the front. It would be all on one plane and that
Well, I
make it
guess that,
easier.
I don't know if that goes back into the problem you were thinking with the siding. If it is one plane, I'm either going over the original brick. I'm a contractor, but I have no experience in aesthetic thin brick or anything like I go to church up in New Albany, and it's got that thin jumbo brick, and it just falls, So I want a good solution that I don't have to, worry about. I would hate to have to go over what's there. But then again, if it's that same line, you're gonna be able to tell unless I'm really good or find somebody who can figure it out.
Yeah.
No, but we can bring that out.
Dave, what would that do to the roof line right here? I see why you're pulling it back because the existing porch
No, it's true.
extends past. And so this corner would have to be modified, correct, to add another peak to bring it all
We're still
forward?
gonna have to die in similar to that, even if we bring it out.
I guess I wasn't looking up.
But the indentation is also makes up for a difference in building materials.
Yeah.
Trying to match two things that really aren't gonna match anyway.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons you might step it back, just to get it out of that plane.
While we're looking at the porch area there, is there an opportunity with the new railings to maybe spread those posts out? I feel like without the steps up, those two posts are gonna look a little pushed together versus if they could be spread out and equidistant there across the porch. I understand they're completely necessary, just feel like without a walkway up to it, it's gonna kind of look like they're too close together.
I mean, I guess we can do that. I mean, we can do anything, right?
Oh, yeah, we can do anything. I won the lottery last week. If they need
I mean,
moved.
I don't know how the rest of you guys feel about it.
What you're saying is it looks like there should be something there.
Yeah.
Without steps going up to it,
Well, we could keep the steps there.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Yeah, we could move them. I would just ask what you want them to be, and we'll do that.
Well, I'd say it'd be the same thing, because we've got two corner posts also. If there's a way we could just take the existing posts and just spread them apart to make it equidistant between the two.
Yeah, about
Yes.
center between the windows, yeah.
But those usually have foundations underneath them that support the weight, rather than just the boards.
Well, that foundation is continuous all the way
Is it?
across the.
The carrier would be continuing.
Jared, a question for you and Dave.
Yes, yeah.
What if, off of Rich's comment, leave the opening and the stairs and steps that are there, but just make it like a Y off of the new stairs so it doesn't go all the way to the sidewalk anymore?
You mean connect the old to the new?
Basically, there'd
And
just be
keep it there.
two walkways to the porch. Keep proportionally things looking the same. It'd be less work on railing, less demo work. Jared, I didn't know if you had any plans for like furnishing it that prohibited.
Yeah, God, I thought I could do this whole thing without my wife. That definitely feels like a wife question there.
Just a thought on
Yeah.
how to kind of blend, basically you remove these stairs, but from this landing, just kick it over to the new one. And then you can keep them both. But then nobody's actually using this one unless someone wants to, hop off the porch to greet somebody, or.
Yeah.
So you're saying leave the steps from the main sidewalk up to the.
No.
Keep those down.
Remove this,
Okay.
but just.
Curve that
leave-
around, yeah.
Leave this here and then just add a walk to the new entryway.
Okay.
And then add this all the way down like you planned.
I
So
feel,
basically, this only stays to keep the idea that that used to be the entrance.
I'm cool with that. I think that, yeah,
Yeah,
that looked nice.
works.
Great idea.
Are you guys okay with that?
Sorry. Forgot you guys have to vote on things
No.
like that.
No, I like that idea of keeping the stairs and then moving the sidewalk around. I was noticing the detail on the rail and the posts. You said AZAC or
Just
PVC?
like a composite board that's on, for longevity and,
Probably composite AZAC as opposed to the shiny PVC.
like a more matte to
Yeah.
barely semi-gloss finish, not the shiny one.
Correct.
I get what
yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, I would not want to see a plastic.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I just meant when I said PVC, like not, like a composite board made of
Okay.
plastic, but not plastic railing like you'd see on a fence or.
Plastic fence,
Yeah.
all shiny
Yeah, no.
and pretty. Ugh.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. okay,
No,
thank
thanks.
you. I think it's going to be a great-looking addition.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Fireplace in the back is actually set into the house then? Okay. No questions? Can I make a motion to approve CA 25-006?
I'd like to second that motion.
Roll call.
Were you going to make any modifications to what he's going to do?
With the modifications, as we spoke of, keeping the existing concrete sidewalk, stairs where they are, removing the stairs going up to the porch, curving the sidewalk around to the new set of stairs. Do we say to keep the porch flush with the existing porch, or still
I
recessed?
think we're still going back with
Keep
it.
the porch recessed as is, and the handrail and post to be more of a matte type material and not a shiny PVC. Did I miss anything?
I think
That's it, okay.
So Linda, did you approve that then?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and approve.
All right.
Roll call. Roger White,
Yes.
Whit Wardell,
Yes.
Patrick Lynch,
Yes,
Linda Henry,
Yes.
Rich Dobbs, yes. David Kirkcraft.
Abstain.
Thank you.
you're
Cool.
good?
Thanks.
Painless. Thank you.
The next application for tonight's agenda is CA 25007. The address is 10 West Oak Street. The request this evening is to fully enclose the southern overhang on the subject building. The Elevate 1828 project the Historical Society is taking on is in full swing. As part of the looking forward to the project and making the programming components a success from a rental standpoint, the Historical Society has come up with the concept for the boot, which is a full bar component to the facility. When looking at a space to put it, they were looking at the southern overhang on the existing grain elevator. This overhang currently is an open-ended structure on either end, really a pull-through. The applicant is looking to fully enclose this space by squaring off the one end on this side and installing by installing a new storefront window on this end of the building facing the apprentice school building. And then on the side that's facing the new vestibule, they're going to be constructing a full-size glass garage door. Again, we're looking at the details for the new storefront entry door here on the east side of the building. The applicant has provided some details for how to trim that into place. This design will be substantially similar to the full glass garage door they want to install on the opposite side of the facility. just for a fun little graphic they didn't put in their packet, but they gave to me ahead of time. This is kind of how the inside's gonna play out. You can see the garage door facing the vestibule on this side. And then the light in the rendering here is pulling from the window on the other side of the building, just to kind of give you an idea of what enclosing the space actually does for the facility. Thought this was important to share. If there's any questions from the commission, we'd glad to help answer. Applicants here to answer any questions that you guys have about this phase of the project.
What was there prior to this? Just a wall?
Where the storefront and
Yes.
it's just open.
Okay.
It was just a canopy. The history of this, it was called the boot, and the wagons would come up into the covered area. There's a chute that leads into the basement where the grain would go down, and eventually it would work its way up into the bins. So part of what we want to do in enclosing is preserve that view into the chutes that go down to the basement with some glass things we'll walk on. There's a crane that actually assisted in some of that. So we want to keep the character because it is historic of how that functions. But yeah, we'd just be enclosing it with a storefront on the side that faces the Prentice School with the zippy grid, the same anodized dark bronze that was approved for the vestibule. 15 light zippy grid is in the vestibule. This would be a 15 light. Then we'd match that with the overhead door. And the reason we want to do the overhead door facing the vestibule is that when there are activities, the nice weather outside, we do want to have the ability to open that up and kind of interact with the outside space of the campus. So, yeah, we've been here 6 times. We like coming here. The last time we were here, I think, was June for the vestibule approval. And we do owe you the awning window details for the upper head house, the head house, and the bins. We'll be bringing those back next month. We're actually going to do a mock-up that you can go out there and see. And we also need to give you a sample of the flooring for patio. So those are coming, but we're rapidly getting the exterior siding done, and the function of the gathering room, really, this is quite an important piece we decided that we think we should add. So that's what we're here.
So is that all this application is going to approve?
That's correct, yeah. It's really squaring off
Okay.
the exterior of this one wall, installing a new glass garage door on the west end, and then a glass storefront on the east end.
I will add that all the exterior siding that you see on the boot was approved in 2020. It's going to match all the stuff that we're taking off and re-putting back on now. So,
It is all clear glass, right?
yes.
I like the concept of it. The glass kind of mimics the openness that was there at one time, and I think that works really well. Especially doing a fixed window in the front facing the street, and then obviously the open garage door on the other side. My question is, where the garage door is there enough room to open a garage door to actually cover in this, enough clearance in the ceiling inside once that garage door goes up?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the top right of this picture here, and there doesn't look like there's a lot of room for that garage door to clear once it goes up.
Yeah. I don't know, I can't answer that question. We might have to, when we redo the siding, lower that 6-8 inches.
Yeah, to lower the door or raise the ceiling up, or,
Is that garage door, how high is it? Is it 8,
Yeah.
probably?
what's that?
The height of the garage door?
It's matching that opening now. But good point, if that right side does get too close, and we'll have to run a section over there.
Yeah,
I think we have enough room, but I can't.
that's the
I'm
only
not
thing that really
sure.
caught my
Good
eye
point.
was that
Yeah.
corner right there, but,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah. But no, I love the concept of what you guys are doing here.
I know the one elevation, this one here, the garage door doesn't go down to grade. Looks like there's a sill.
Oh, in the front?
Right
That's a
here.
fixed
That's a
window.
window.
Okay, that is, the garage door's over here.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And we actually added a sidewalk from the approved site plans to pull that into the rest of the
Okay.
circulation on the site, because they will go out that door and go to different buildings.
Yeah, I like that. I think it'll look great.
I think it looks nice.
Well, I wish it was my idea, but it was theirs.
Great minds think, working together. Yeah.
Any more questions?
I make motion to approve CA 25-007.
Second.
Roll call, Whit Wardell,
Yes.
Roger White,
Yes.
Rich Dowdy, yes, Linda Henry,
Yes.
David Kirkhope.
Yes.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The other P Lynch.
There's too many Lynches on here.
There's a lot of Lynches there.
So thank you for your continued support. We'll see you next month.
Oh,
Appreciate you.
thank you for all you guys are doing.
Thank
All
you.
of
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's going to be fabulous.
The next application for review is CA 25008. This is for 215 Washington Street. The request is for a new 36-inch fence around the rear perimeter of the property. This property is a double lot. We'll find you a fence. This property is a double lot. The main parcel with the house on it faces Washington Street. There is a second pie-shaped lot that faces Johnny and Circle. This lot in the back is not a buildable lot, so that's why it is part of this overall property. This residential home was constructed in 1928. The Landmarks Commission 2021 approved the new detached garage shown in this photo to the rear of the property. The applicant this evening is requesting approval to fence in the rear yard. The lines in orange shown on the screen are the new sections of fence the applicant's looking to put in. The neighbor here to the south already has a fence on these portions of the property line, so the applicant will be tying into those. This is a wooden kind of livestock style rail fence on this side. Privacy fence, I believe, to the north. The applicant's fence they're looking to install is a simple aluminum, singular rail, top rail, push-in style fence where you line up the panels and push the posts into the ground. The applicant does note that all of the dark circles here are going to be places where they're putting in footers to help secure the fence longevity-wise for the brackets. And then the applicant does note they're going to have a couple gates throughout the property as well. In addition to this fence, these pins throughout the property are going to be some evergreen trees the applicant is requesting to plant on the inside of the fence to really help screen that component of the rear yard and identify the space as being different from either houses on Jenny and Circle on the left and right of it. Are there any questions for me? Glad to help answer. Applicant's here to answer any questions you guys have.
The fence is 36 inches high.
Yes.
I see on the plan, you've got one gate that comes off the west yard, the west side off the main house. Are there any other gates that you're adding?
There's going to be one there, and then there's going to be one between the porch and the garage.
Porch and garage, okay.
Yep. So just two of those little ones. And I'll make one other additional clarification on the southern side where that fence is. I'll be planting 3-foot footers every 3 segments. So each fence segment is 4 feet.
Okay.
So it's going to be, there's going to be like 30 or 35 of them along that long edge,
Okay.
just for extra stability.
Have you thought for maintenance reasons of putting a gate on that south side? Because I don't see you pushing a lawnmower all the way around the
Yeah.
block to get to that strip of
Yes,
grass.
yeah,
Just saying.
we can do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I think it would just be convenient for you and help you maintain that. If kids are playing in the yard, ball goes over the fence, don't have to walk all the way around the block or hop the fence.
Yeah.
Which they would, so.
Your neighbor's fence that you're abutting into, is it 36 inches high too?
It's right about 36, I think it's more like 40. You're talking the one on the west side? Mm-hmm. Yes. There is one on the north side that is just your classic chain link fence. That one is a 36 though.
Okay. And this will be black?
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I'm kind of glad you're not putting something that's private, where you just can't. I think it'll be nice to see through it and see the
Yeah.
bush, the new bushes that you guys are going to plant on the south side.
The details on the top of the fence are accurate.
It's just a smooth top, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
The posts
just
have
smooth
a-
rail.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not like the bottom picture where it has the,
Finials?
yeah.
There's finials on this.
There is.
There
Top
is.
image, too.
Yeah, they're just hard to see.
Post locations.
Yep.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Little
Yeah.
eggs.
Yep.
Well, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
trees are kind of blocking the view
Or
there.
the bottom you see better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you can see it right
That's not a
there. It's
double
hard to see with the trees.
horizontal rail up here, is it, up at the top?
No.
It's just a single?
No, it's a shadow line you're seeing.
Okay.
This one's a little easier. See the gate right here?
Yep.
That's what the whole fence looks like.
Yep.
It is a shadow.
Top and the bottom are the same fence.
Okay.
You guys approved this style fence on West Mound. This lady had a section of chain link that was missing next to her barn in the back along the alley. And she just wanted to put a small section in there and then a front section that faces the Historical Society's complex. Because you have approved this style fence before, just not as like a whole perimeter treatment, mainly as infill.
How does this differ from John's fence around the corner here?
What he wanted.
He wanted a aluminum fence, right?
So the fence he wanted had 2 rails along the top.
Okay.
And then the top rails were about 4 inches in diameter. The top rails in this instance are the same diameter as the perimeter frame.
Any more questions?
No. I like it.
I'll make a motion to approve application CA-25-008 as stated.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Roger White,
Yes,
Patrick Lynch,
Yes.
Whit Wardell,
Yes.
Linda Henry,
Yes,
Rich Downey, yes, David Craycraft.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next application is for CA 25009. Address is 108 North High Street. The request this evening is for a new wall sign. This industrial building was constructed in 1987. It's only been to the Landmarks Commission once in August 2022 for doctoral modifications and a new wall sign on the building. The wall sign that was approved is down here in the lower right-hand corner. The applicant is looking to install a new wall sign, same size, just kind of breaking down the products they're carrying on the top for Crimson Cup on the left, and then adding, excuse me, the new Frazenta product on the right-hand side. With this being 2 different brands, the staff is kind of looking at this as a complex sign, identifying more than one tenant, so that allows a little more flexibility in the number of colors and signs.
So the top half is basically going to be cut in two. One will be one brand, left side will be another brand. And different colors. Actually,
One
you're
of the-
keeping the same color, you're just adding the blue.
Yeah, actually, all we're doing is an overlay on the existing sign and doing the co-branding. Pretty much when the truck drivers show up and they're looking for Frazenta, right now, they see Crimson Cup and they could get confused even though the address is correct. Pretty much it's as simple as that.
So the Prozenta, how high are those letters? Just like the other one?
The letters on the
Prozenta,
address?
No, on the Prozenta, I mean, those, how high are those letters?
It's smaller than what was.
Yeah, it's
approved.
smaller than the current one.
Okay.
We made sure that the address was, 12 inches high so fire department could see it from the street.
Okay.
Fine with it.
I'd like to make a motion to approve CA-25-009.
Second?
Roll call, Patrick Lynch.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White.
Yes.
Linda Henry.
Yes.
Rich Dobda. Yes. David Kirk.
Yes,
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
thank you.
Marketing director will be happy. Thanks.
Our goal is to make people happy.
The next application is CA 25010. Address is 84 East Columbus Street. The request this evening is for new asphalt shingles. This residential home was constructed around 1928. The applicant is requesting approval to switch out the grayish-green 3-tab asphalt shingles for a new IKO gray dimensional asphalt shingle. With their roofing project, they're also going to be getting new seamless K-style gutters on the home. They'll be white to match the existing, but the applicant did want me to note that the gutters would take place same time as the roof.
I was looking at that, whatever that is in the middle of the picture. A little statue.
This?
That must have been previous owners.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I don't have
2019.
something in front of my,
It's not my house.
Yeah, this photo was taken in 2019.
yeah,
I recycle whenever I can.
yeah, that's good.
That was good.
So it'll be new downspouts, new gutters, along with the new roof.
Yes. And the same for in the garage in the back, they're gonna shingle the garage and the gutters in the back too.
Okay.
I think it'll look fine.
Just as a curiosity, what is the material that is used below the porch flooring? What is that material, that horizontal, is it like?
Oh, it's like a-
Fiberglass or?
Yeah, like a piece of the,
I've never seen that before.
yeah. It's plastic, like what you would, I guess maybe that would be the same stuff you would use on a roof, maybe, a metal roof.
I've just never seen that.
Yeah.
I've never noticed that driving by it.
And then, eventually, it probably, maybe later in the summer, there's two, on the other side of the house, there's a side door, and there are two green colored, they're very dirty and need upgraded, so I'm assuming I'll come again if I want to paint those or refinish those,
So the awnings are,
the awnings. There's two, there's one on a door that's closed off, I don't use that anymore, that goes down into the basement, and then the one that goes into the kitchen has a larger awning on it. They're both green, so they won't, they'll be okay for now.
So is
but-
that painted, a painted plastic corrugated panel?
It's like an aluminum siding, I think they're original to the home. They're just oxidated and
So
faded.
you didn't install that?
No, they were
Underneath the
there,
porch?
yeah.
I've never noticed that. That's
Carol, were you
probably
saying-
prior to
were you
landmarks.
saying you want new awnings on the back, or you just need them replaced?
I would like to take the ones that are there now just down and
Keep-
paint them.
Oh, okay.
Like paint them black, probably to match the roof, or gray.
Okay. I was gonna say, usually when an awning's added, it was to prevent water from going in.
Right.
especially- You said it's on the back side of your house?
Yeah,
So it's in the-
or no, it's on the side of the house. So like on the side, when you go in, the entrance to the back of the house is on the side.
Oh, right here?
Yes.
Okay,
And there's a
that
small
side.
porch there with an awning over it.
got it, okay.
And that's my plan.
Well, if you ever decide to change the underside, the skirting underneath the porch, can you please come to us?
Yeah.
Because we've got some better ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I make a motion that we approve CA 25010 as presented.
Second?
Roll call, David Kirkcraft,
Yes.
Rich Dowdy, yes. Linda Henry,
Yes.
Patrick Lynch,
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I think it'll make a nice contrast with the darker brown.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or pop.
Yep. It's a work in progress.
Mhm.
Still scribbling wallpaper.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thanks for coming in.
The next application, CA 25-011, address is 126 East Waterloo Street. The request is for new garage doors and man door. After talking with the applicant earlier today, the applicant would like to withdraw this item from the agenda for the time being.
Oh.
Looking at making some changes, so.
There's been a change in the scope of work, and it's fairly significant. So we're going to try to be back for next month's agenda.
Okay.
So do we need to make a motion on that?
No, as long as I can get, I guess, since you're acting chair tonight, if I can get, Rich, you just to note the applicant withdrew the item from the agenda.
Apparently Roger's been writing everything down.
What's that?
You've been writing everything down?
No.
Oh, my. Well, you do have the audio or the, so.
The final application for tonight's agenda is CA 25012. Address is 8 Washington Street. The request this evening, the city would like to demo the house and the outbuilding and use this property for future Gallery Park expansion. When looking at this, the city's in contract to purchase this property from the seller. Looking at the existing conditions of the home, it was constructed in 1953. The home, when it was built, was a one-bedroom, one-bath. It has had a rear porch that has been enclosed on the back to make it a two-bedroom. That rear porch is failing and is falling off of the building. Now that it's been enclosed, it wasn't ever designed to be habitable space. Also, when looking at some of the conditions of the house, it's noted that the roof here is buckling in the middle, so structurally it needs to be repaired. The shingles are at an age where they all need to be replaced. Taking a look at the exterior here, there is a vinyl siding that's been added on the home with a different vinyl gable treatment at the top. Peeling back the vinyl siding, there is an aluminum siding that is behind it, and then behind the aluminum siding is the original wood siding. No idea what the condition of any of it is, but not looking good with the condition of the outside. This is the rear addition, the porch that was enclosed. You can see the siding treatment they put on is actually falling off of the building. And you can see kind of where they cut and stopped painting it. The outbuilding itself is probably stick-built on site. It has a very kind of unnatural size door to it. Again, same issues as the rest of the home where it's starting to collapse in the middle. Taking a look at the side of the house here, again, you can see some of the issues with the trim, the warpage in the siding. The house itself has been completely gutted by the person we're purchasing it from. They gutted it to see if there was anything salvageable with it or they could reuse it. And that's when they found these structural problems. I mean, this one photo is basically the entirety of the inside of the house. When looking at kind of the overhead view of the property, the driveway to the south is actually on the park's property, so it's not on this person's lot. They just got lucky and have been using our driveway for a second parking spot, so this is the only one parking spot they have. The property line is 3 feet away from the south wall. Their fence extends 15 feet beyond past that on the park's property, so there's been encroachments onto the city park for a long time. So with this purchase, we're going to be looking at removing the 2 access drives up Washington Street, which are significantly dangerous because you're pulling in one car that close to 3 different intersections. And then with the reconfiguration here, we'll be able to jut out this portion of the parkland for future improvements. This property, prior to it being sold, has had a lot of complaints from code violations, probably annual letters from trash and debris just being stored on the property. So this will be a good one to get cleaned up from my perspective as well, just from a annual inspection kind of process of it as well. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to help answer. This one's pretty straightforward in our intent, so.
How soon are you planning on doing demolition?
It depends on the closing date and when we can sign the
I thought it
contract.
was closed already.
I don't believe it's closed yet. The council just authorized the purchase of it last Monday.
All right.
I'm sorry, did you say it's going to be more park space or parking space?
More parkland.
Okay.
So you will turn it all into green space then?
Yeah, the intention's to do some reconfiguration of Geiler to add an extension that direction.
Splash pad or something like that out there?
That's probably the furthest away from the pool, so least likely. But yeah, I know we want to look at doing some improvements to Geiler. I believe Geiler is the next park to get like an overhaul after this next phase of McGill Park. So the timing kind of works out on this one.
Andrew, I'd like to make a motion, we approve CA 25012 as presented.
Second?
Roll call, Linda Henry,
Yes.
Patrick Lynch,
Yes.
Whit Wardell,
Yes.
Roger White,
Yes.
David Kirkcraft,
Yes.
Rich Dowdy, yes.
I don't really have anything for old new business. The zoning code rewrite committee sent out an email a couple weeks ago to the steering committee, just providing some base information on what zoning is, what it does, what it can and can't do. Really just to try to get the group on a level playing field on how zoning functions in the state of Ohio. There are different forms of zoning that are out there, so I'm kind of talking about a traditional zoning code versus a Euclidean, form-based, hybrid. Basically each one of those terms mean how it functions and how it's enforceable and the primary role of it. So Pete is the landmarks representation on that committee. Feel free to reach out to him. There's probably a good hour worth of 5 or 6 YouTube videos on just what zoning is and different functions of zoning. If anybody's curious, you reach out to him or myself. I'd be glad to forward you the email just so you're curious on how zoning works. I know the Landmarks Commission's more the Architecture Review Board side of zoning, but kind of keeping that same theme. We would like the Landmarks Commission to also have more zoning-related duties and powers. Basically, zoning is law. The Old Town Guidelines are a guide. So it's a lot easier for someone to argue they don't like the guide versus they don't like the law. So again, that's kind of where we're trying to find the good balance on strengthening your guys' position a little bit. So that process, the consultants have kind of provided that guidance as a kickoff. The next steering committee meeting will be on April 23rd or 24th. So that'll be right before your guys' next landmarks meeting. So hopefully Pete can kind of give you some updates, what was discussed then at next month's meeting. Other than that, I don't really have a whole lot. Really busy agenda tonight. I'm really impressed that it's not even 8 o'clock yet.
That's a lot of things or whatever.
I think next month was going to be busy too. I've already had 3 people apply, and we're a month out from the next meeting, so look forward to the next one with you guys.
You know, the project we did at 44 West Mound Street, on the rear of that property, right behind the addition, they've got either close to between a 30 and 40-foot diameter magnolia tree that is just beautiful when it's bloomed. And that was one of the conditions that we had to stay far enough away from it because they don't want to lose that.
Very nice.
That was good when you say that. I recall that tree, it is quite substantial.
Pardon?
That tree is quite substantial, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:56.
Second?
Roll call, David Kirkcraft.
Yes.
Rich Stopty, yes. Linda Henry.
Yes.
Patrick Lynch.
Yes.
Whit Wardell.
Yes.
Roger White.
Yes.